No, put it over here. There's not enough space, is there? Plenty of room, bro. The ant-like alien hoisted his package and slid it into a space between several other boxes, while being directed by his human counterpart. The clearance was in the millimeter range. The alien stepped back and looked at the tightly interwoven wall of containers. They came in a variety of materials, colours and sizes. Each was snuggled next to its neighbours, with almost no gaps or spaces. I'm super jealous, bro, the human said, as he too admired the pair's handiwork. Jealous? Of what? The alien cocked his head, pointing his compound eyes at his companion, his antenna waving in confusion. That last package weighs about as much as I do, bro. I would have needed help to lift it, especially if my head to get it there. You didn't even struggle. You just popped it up there like it was nothing. The alien looked back at the package he had been carrying moments before, and read the shipping info from the box label. That much mass is about a quarter of my capacity, but I come from a heavy world. Compared to most galactic species, humans are still top 10 in strength to weight ratio. That's why so many of you do manual labor jobs, isn't it? Bro, we may be top 10, but you guys are clearly number 1. And most of us work manual labor jobs because 90% of the manual labor in this galaxy is what we would call light duty stuff. It takes almost no effort. The human had turned to examine the boxes left to load. He pointed to a larger one and indicated where the ant-shaped alien should put it. While his companion shifted the larger box, he gathered several smaller ones and started to tuck them into nooks and crannies left between larger containers. Like a glove, he murmured, and pushed the last one into place. The two continued to load packages for a while, the human indicating where the Zishithi should place the heavier boxes, as he built out the smaller spaces. Soon they reached the end of the cargo space, which was tightly packed with hundreds of packages. The two were sitting in the break room enjoying some beverages, when a small fox-like alien came padding in on 4 of his 6 legs. Brandon, Sherlock's! The fox-like alien, Baron Hoob Lowborn, called as he entered the room. How in the name of the great matron did you manage to get that much tonnage into a single-engine cargo hauler? We just loaded in the boxes real tight, boss, said the human. It is as my companion states. There was little space left between individual cargo items. He is preternaturally good at determining which boxes can fit into which spaces to most efficiently fill the cargo bay, the Zishithi agreed. You guys keep this up and there's going to be a bonus. Great job. The Baron Hoob gave the two a double tail wag, his species equivalent of a thumbs up. Enjoy the rest of your break. He left the two to finish their breaks without interruption. Bottom left for that one, Brandon called, as he stuffed a box into a small alcove in a wall of boxes and crates. Sherlock carefully lowered his crate to the floor and slid it into place. He looked over at Brandon, who checked the crate's position and nodded. Sherlock returned to the pile of freight to be loaded, and Brandon called out, "Third box on the left, top of the pile, right on top of the last one." The two continued to cram boxes, crates and packages into the cargo hold, until the whole pile was crammed into a space that seemed too small to hold it all. Sitting off to the one side, the Baron Hoob observed the process, along with several other employees. When the two loaders had finished loading the last package, they stepped over to the others, and Brandon asked, "Any questions?" "How did you know that a crate of engine parts was going to fit between the hull and that refrigerant barrel?" asked an observer. "I could see the space was large enough by looking at them," Brandon replied. "Is that a species skill, or is that something you trained up?" asked the Baron Hoob. I guess I trained it. I can bring in the training software tomorrow if you like," Brandon replied. "Please do." So this button rotates the piece, and this joystick moves it left or right, and once you have it lined up, pressing down drops it into place, Brandon explained, as he demonstrated the training software. The completed lines will disappear, but if you leave a space it stays on the screen, and the longer you play the faster it goes. You get a bonus if you can complete multiple lines at once. A piece dropped into place, and 4 lines disappeared at once. That's called a Tetris. His co-workers watched as Brandon dropped piece after piece, and line after line disappeared. After a few minutes, Brandon could no longer keep up with the speed of the game, and he lost. "Who wants to try?" he asked. Every creature in the room raised an appendage. The Baron Hoob padded along on his 4 legs, pointing out various facilities like bathrooms, break rooms, supply cubbies, and more. The new hires followed along behind him. "This is the training area. You'll be spending your first week here, and we encourage you to use the equipment on breaks. We often have after-hours tournaments here, where we compete to see who can get the best score. Even I enjoy using the training software. We're largely credited the training software for our industry standing as a leader in cargo density. Every one of our employees is well acquainted with it. I'll turn you over to our training instructors, Brandon and Sherlock's, our two best loaders.